get a chance, hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. I need more subscribers. So, subscribe. Going to start off today's show with a thought. You know when you go to a place that has two sets of front doors, and what I mean by that is you get there, set of double doors, you go in, another 10 or 15 feet, there's another set of doors. I want to talk about the etiquette that comes with that. I can't tell you how many times this happens, where I get there, I see someone coming, I open the door, I let them through, they say thank you usually, and they should, and they go through, and they don't hold the door for me. They walk through, and then they kind of leave the door open behind them so I can kind of get in. On what planet is that okay? I don't understand how you could possibly think this guy was here first. This guy had the awareness to look back and see someone was coming, held the door for me. I'm going to go in ahead of him and not return the favor. It probably happens if I hold the door 15 times in a month. It probably happens 12 times. That's 80%. Not just a hat rack. Okay? There's a little something going on up there. That's how often it happens. Should be a jailable offense if you do that. 3 to 6 months, maximum security prison. I mean, and if you don't agree with me, you should get 1 to 2 years, no exception for good behavior. That should be your penalty. I can't believe people think that, oh, thank you for holding the door for me. Let me just go in ahead of you. If I'm at a restaurant, because I held the door for you, now you and your 3 kids, I guess if you have 3, no, if you have 3 kids, especially not, set an example. You think you should order ahead of me? Or if we're at Chipotle, you think you guys should all go ahead of me because I held the door for you? No, hold the door for me and allow me to go back in. That's double door etiquette. That's day one stuff. Oh, gosh. Hope you have a great day. Great guest today, my boy, Nick Yackle. His last name looks like it's spelled Yackle. So if you hear me call him Yackle or Yak, just know that he knows that his last name is actually Yackle. No one's ever called you Yackle like on purpose if they didn't know who you were, right?
No, it's typically Yackle. Yeah. I get everything but Yackle.
Makes sense, I guess.
So I just roll with it.
Got to.
Yeah.
Especially in your line of work, which is what I want to talk about, is being a greenskeeper. Now, do you guys prefer superintendent or do you like greenskeeper, groundskeeper?
Yeah, preferred title would be golf course superintendent.
Golf course superintendent?
Yeah. At higher end places, they're typically director of agronomy, director of ground, something like that. But I prefer golf course superintendent.
Okay, I'm going to go director of agronomy. No, okay, so golf course superintendent. That's it. But essentially, back in the day, that's a groundskeeper, right?
Yeah, greenskeeper. Yeah,
groundskeeper.
Yeah.
It's not like a put down if somebody calls you that, is it?
No, I don't think so. Not for me, at least.
Okay, then I'm going to call you a groundskeeper. But no, in typical golf course superintendent fashion, we were supposed to do, I'm looking at the clock, we were supposed to film this 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And I get a text from you at like 7 a.m. saying, hey, dude, we just got crazy amount of rain. I got to go to the course.
Yeah, unfortunately, you never know what the weather's going to throw you. You just got to roll with the punches and be able to adapt.
So what's going on a day like Saturday, I think it was, when we got all that rain? Are you getting a phone call or are you getting a text? How does being a superintendent work?
Nah, so it was more so the golf course had been closed because of the shitty weather for the last 2 weeks, and we had opened up on Friday, and then we were going to be open on Saturday. We got pounded by rain, so I knew there was going to be stuff that needed to be addressed that I should probably be there to help out with. So I went in and helped the other guys that were there, and yeah, went from there.
Was it even playable, or did you have to bang the whole day?
No, it was playable. Yeah, we our main focus was getting bunkers right. The course was playable. We were cart path only, but we prepped the greens, changed the cups, and then main focus was getting bunkers, water pumped out of bunkers,
okay,
stuff like that. So typically in a big rain, bunkers take the hardest hit.
Is that your call? Say, hey, we can play today, or if anybody gets on this course, they're going to ruin it.
Yeah, it would typically be the superintendent's call if it's two, if you're going to ruin the course, the superintendent would typically be the person that says, "Hey, no golf today," or "Yeah, we can get them out there, cart paths only." So my golf course has cart paths all the way around, so typically we can get people out cart path only.
Do people call you like a sack of shit when they get there and they're like, it's cart path only, and they just look over at you?
Yeah, well, luckily my office and my building is away from the pro shop, so it's
Oh,
typically not me. It's they're referring to the golf pro as the sack of shit and getting mad at him. So
perfect.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that. So to give everyone a little bit of a background, you were the assistant superintendent at Medinah. Is that correct?
Yeah, I started at Medinah as an intern in
Okay.
2012 or 2013. I started as an intern in Medinah and worked my way up. So Medinah has three different golf courses. So the
Oh,
hierarchies.
hold on. So for those of you who don't know, because I don't know everyone's a golf person, Medinah is probably the most well-known and nicest golf course and country club in the whole state. It can be argued, but they've been around for 100 years. They have three courses, incredibly expensive. They host PGA tours. They're probably the most famous course, if not the best, in the whole state. Continue. So you started there as an intern.
Yeah, started there as an intern, worked my way up, and when I left there, my title was superintendent of courses 1 and 2. So I was still under my boss, the director of agronomy,
Okay.
but I was just below him, and so it's a big hierarchy there, a big operation, and but yeah, I cut my teeth at Medinah. Went to Deer Path after Medinah in Lake Forest for 3 years, and just in January I started at Blackstone Golf Club in Marengo.
And for those of you who don't know, Blackstone in Marengo is it's one of my favorite public courses. It's really nice. It's big. It's open. It has a little bit of a links feel to it. It's one of the nicer public courses in the entire area. And probably, which is funny that you got the job because me, you, and our other buddy Plow played there last summer.
Yeah.
And it was my first time playing there. And I was like, dude, this might be my favorite course ever.
Yeah, we all loved it when we played it. I remember we all were
Yeah.
ranting and raving about it.
It was awesome. And the fact that you're a superintendent now is or director of agronomy is is just awesome. That's cool. So a couple of questions about it. The whole point of the podcast is to get the people to understanding other people's jobs, other people, and being a groundskeeper, greenskeeper, agronomy is one of the ones that everybody who golfs plays golf on a golf course, but nobody ever gets kind of the ins and outs. So I got just a bunch of random little
Sure.
questions we're going to touch on.
Shoot.
How many people are roughly in your crew now that you're a Blackstone, real nice larger course?
So still kind of trying to put my crew together for this year,
Okay.
but it sounds like with speaking with the last superintendent, it sounds like they had roughly between 12 and 15 peak season, which peak season is usually the summer when high school and college kids can work.
Okay. Now, in that crew, is it like, and I watched a couple actually to get ready for this podcast. I watched a couple like grounds meetings and stuff like that. It was PGA events, but they're having like a meeting at 4:30 in the morning and giving everybody kind of their jobs. Is that what you guys are doing type thing? You doing it the night before?
Yeah, so typically, before I leave the day before, I set up the job board for the next morning with everybody's jobs, and then just knock on wood that nobody calls in sick, nobody
Gotcha.
has a lame excuse, which we get a lot of in this type of industry. But yeah, I set up the job board the night before, and then in the morning we start at 5 o'clock in peak season. So guys will typically roll in anywhere between 4:45 and 5, drink their coffee, look at their job. If they have questions, they ask me or my assistant, and then we go from there. Head out on the golf course and start rolling.
Man, so you're getting there at 4:45, typical day. That's kind of wild. Now, how many were in your crew, or you were part of the crew, but at Medinah, what are they rocking, having three courses and being as prestigious as they are?
Medina's a lot. It was probably close to, with mechanics and managers and everything, it was probably close to 80 people in the maintenance department.
That's nuts. You probably didn't even know, every single one of their names then, huh?
Well, we did just because you're there every day. But yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of people. And yeah, if there was turnover. Yeah, sometimes you don't. You know a guy for a week and then he leaves. But
Yeah, and you guys there because you got me tickets one time to the practice round when you guys hosted the BMW.
yeah,
What was the name of that tourney?
that was the BMW championship.
Okay. And you got us on for that practice day, practice round. It was sweet. Tiger Woods flew in later that night, so I didn't get to see him. But what's your job when you have an event that's going to be broadcasted? Tiger Woods and Rory and all those guys are there. It's a PGA event. What are you guys doing to prepare for that?
It's not. It's pretty much a full. I mean, We started preparations for that event a year and a half ahead of before the event.
Really?
Yeah. So you
18 months
start.
in advance?
Yeah, like more so infrastructure stuff. Drainage projects where if you get a heavy rain, it's going to flood here. You'll work on stuff like that, infrastructure stuff, and so we started preparations and planning probably about 18 months in advance. And then you just prep the whole season as you would. You're working the golf season. That tournament was in September, so you're doing your preparations all season, your maintenance all season, in hopes of or knowing that what you're leading up to in September is a televised PGA tournament that you need to have everything perfect. So everybody has the mindset all year that this is what you're leading up to, and yeah.
Now, I don't know if it was you who told me that, but like, do you assign certain people to certain holes and like that's their baby? Is like hole 4 is yours and stuff like that, or is it kind of everybody's on call for every hole to always make it work?
Yeah, for that event we had yeah, it was I think we had a hand 6 different greens mowers, so the where was a handful of fairway mowers, 6 fairway mowers. They all mowed the fairways together, so they mowed all the fairways. But yeah, there were groups on the holes for bunkers, for greens, for
Okay.
changing cups, different groups. So I think we had 3 or 4 different groups throughout the course to prep. And
If the tournament, let's just say, is on September 1st, when do you stop letting people play that hole? Like course members or something like
yeah,
that.
I think we were 3 weeks before the tournament is when we shut down course number 3 where that tournament was.
Okay. And if you're hosting a tournament, are they just playing the same course all 4 times?
Yeah, yeah. So that
Okay.
one they're playing. Yeah, they're playing the same course number 3 all 4 rounds.
Is whenever you guys host, is it always course 3 that hosts the tourneys?
Yeah, that's course 3 is the big at Medinah is the big tournament course. It's
Okay.
the one that's always held all the major tournaments, and actually they're going through a major renovation right now. So when that course is on TV in 2026 for the President's Cup, it'll look totally different than anybody remembers.
I actually got to play it 2 years ago. One of my buddy Ryan, his brother-in-law is a member, so he took us out there. It was awesome. We had caddies. I've never had an actual caddy, and I was first 3 holes, dude. I went on course 3. I went par, par, par,
It's a good start.
and I'm like, dude, I might break Tiger Woods' record. I finished with an 88, but at
And
that
then it
course,
just gets yeah, they kind of tease you with the first 3 holes, and then it just gets it just got really hard. Like after that, it starts getting long, and
yes.
yeah,
Oh my God. There was like a par 5 the one kind of by the road. And
yeah,
it just kept going and going and going.
with a
But
postage stamp green, yeah, little tiny green, yeah, it's a tough course.
yeah, and I got lucky on hole 2, I believe, is that par 3 over the water,
Hmm.
which I usually don't do well on, and I wind up sticking it, 20 feet away or something like that.
There you go.
But incredible course, and it was cool. On one of the holes, they had like a Tiger Woods plaque at like
Yeah,
230 yards out, like where
yeah,
Tiger hit his most famous shot or something.
yeah. That was on the 7th hole, on the right side of the 7th hole, which was a par 5. And yeah, I don't remember. I don't. It was in one of the PGAs that he won. I
Oh,
don't remember the shot, but yeah,
yeah,
that was where he hit his shot from. There was
yeah,
the
that was awesome.
Sergio plaque on 16 too, where he hit that. Sergio hit that shot from behind the tree and then went running
Yes.
up the hill.
I
Yeah,
remember seeing. I went back after I played and I watched those clips, and it was like,
yeah,
that was just right there. That's
yeah.
cool.
You'll have to get back there with your buddies. What'd you say, buddies?
It's my
Cousin?
good buddy's brother-in-law.
Oh, you'll have to get back there with them once I think the newly renovated course is opening in June or July this year.
Are
So
they
you'll have to get
renovating it to host more tournaments? Or are they
yeah.
renovating it? Okay.
Yeah, it was the tour players just really beat it up in 2019. I think the winning round was minus 26 or something,
Oh, so
and
too easy?
too easy for 'em. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, too easy for them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Are you guys mowing now at Blackstone or wherever you can use your other places? Are you mowing every single day? Or is it like, hey, we're mowing on Tuesday, not mowing Wednesday, mowing Thursday? Or is it every single day the mowers are running?
Yeah, typically, I mean, you got some sort of mower running every single day. Greens you're usually mowing. In my career, I've usually mowed greens 6 days a week, and then you take one day off and
Okay.
you just roll them on usually a Monday or something. What I've typically done for fairways is 2 days a week, tees 2 days a week, and then rough is just kind of continuous. You just keep going with it, never stop.
In those videos I watched, a lot of their mowers on the greens were moving sideways.
That's a roller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a roller.
So you're just
That's a greens
flattening
roller.
it?
Yeah, you're just giving it a little extra speed and smoothing it out. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not cutting it.
No, so you typically would cut it first, and then the roller comes behind and rolls it.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I was like, man, that looked kind of heavy to be a mower, but then
Yeah.
they were doing it in every video I watched. I was like, I gotta ask the big dog. So that was one of them. And then, how much grass seed are you dudes going through a year?
Hopefully not a lot, because
Oh, really?
if you're going through a lot of grass seed, it means you have a lot of bare areas that need to be seeded. So
Okay.
hopefully not a lot of grass seed. Typically, the only grass seed you're going through is just you're always going to have thin areas and rough and stuff like that where you want to reseed, and you always try to reseed in the spring or the fall. Usually, if you try to reseed in the middle of the summer, you're not going to get a ton of growth. And then divot mix, you're putting seed in divot mix to try to get those divots to regrow and fill in. But other than that, like I said, hopefully you're not going through too much. Otherwise, you got some bigger issues.
How fast does that stuff regrow? Because I know you go to driving ranges and they'll have like all the tees or all the driving range bays, and then the next day they move it back 3 yards and they move it back. How
Yeah.
fast are you hoping stuff regrows once you've moved it?
So it all depends on species of grass you're growing. Um, a Kentucky bluegrass perennial rye driving range tee, you can put seed down and you'll have grass up in a week.
Oh,
Um, a bent grass driving range tee, you put seed down and it probably take 10 to 14 days before you start seeing some growth.
okay.
But you got to baby it too. You got to keep it watered. You got to keep people off of it. So driving range tees are always a headache.
Okay, I was gonna. That's one of my questions.
Yeah.
What and what's a bigger headache as a director of agronomics is with the greens, tee boxes, or sand traps. Which one gives you like the most headaches? Obviously, the most wear is on a tee box, but the most crucial is the green. And then sand traps are just sand and dirt and rain, and they're never. You have to go down into them. What kind of gives you the most headache?
Yeah. So at in my experience where I've been, it's always been the greens are you manage greens are managed much more precisely than tees and fairways. Just what goes into greens to keep them how they are is it's a science behind it. But what's always given me the most headaches are bunkers. Bunkers are
Yeah.
just yeah, bunkers. In my opinion, golf courses shouldn't even have bunkers. It'd make my life way easier. But it's just a headache. You can ask any superintendent; everybody will complain about bunkers.
Is it just brutal getting down in there? There's no machines. You have to get out and get in there.
Nah, you just don't. No, you raking them with most places are raking them with a machine. Although
Okay.
at exclusive places, Medinah, we hand raked all of our bunkers, so that was also I mean, it's a labor
Yeah.
killer too. That's a process. But you're in there with a machine, but there's just always drainage issues. There's always issues with the edge. It's tough. I mean, it's always a steep slope, so it's tough to keep them watered, tough to keep grass on them. It's just
Okay.
sand depth. It's just they're a headache.
So whenever I get rich and I build a golf course and you're my guy, we're going no bunkers.
We can go bunkers, but we got to make sure we build them correctly.
Okay.
There's some new technology out with bunker liners and different sands and stuff that help immensely.
Okay. Well, you're my guy whenever I
All
hit the
right,
lottery and build a golf course.
all right, I'm in.
Okay. If you want to go no bunkers, it's not no sweat off my back. Okay, we talked about your mowing skills or just mowers in general, always mowing. How are your zero turn mowing skills? How are you pretty good on that thing, or have you lost your touch now that you're the director?
No, I still like, but we're not using any zero turn stuff though.
I thought that's what everybody used. That's the best,
No,
I thought.
not much zero turn on greens and fairways and tees. We're using real mowers. So
Okay.
typically those zero turns are rotary mowers. They have a big blade on the bottom, and real mowers. I don't know how to really explain it, but
Is
it's
it
a
is rear mower like an attachment to your mower?
no real, not rear, real, REEL.
Real.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, real mower. Yeah, you'd have to look it up. It's too hard to explain to the
I'll
to
put
you.
a picture in here for
Yeah,
everybody.
you can get a picture. But on greens, fairways, tees, we're using real mowers. Greens, we're mowing at a little less than eighth of an inch. Um, Everything is cut pretty short. So my mowing skills are still pretty good. I pride myself in my mowing skills. I can mow some lasers, some straight lines.
I like that. What the hell kind of grass is on a green? Like, can you just grow that in your yard?
Bent grass is on a green.
That's okay.
Bent grass, yeah.
Could you grow that? Like, could you have your whole entire yard be bent grass?
Yeah, you could, and there's some yards up on the North Shore that I've heard. I've never seen them, but I've heard like their entire yard is bent grass yard cut at 0.375 inches. So
Basically, just a putting green.
three eighths of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, so like a tee box or whatever. But bent grass is also very prone to disease, so
Oh,
you'd have to be applying fungicides to your yard all the time, and it wouldn't be ideal for a yard.
gotcha. Okay, I was always wondering why. Like it's so cool to look at. What does it look like when it grows taller? Does it kind of get stunted at a smaller?
It won't grow super tall, but it will. I mean, it can get a couple inches tall, and it's gnarly. It's thick.
Okay,
A ball lands in it and drops down, and you can't see it. It's tough to hit out of. So that's why there's never have bent grass roughs.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned fixing. You got guys and mechanics and stuff like that. Are you able to get in there and fix some stuff on a mower?
I'm not great at it. I can set heights on. I can adjust mowers to change the heights on them. Make sure they're cutting right. I can check the cuts
Yeah.
and change oil. Other than that, I'm not much of a mechanic.
Well, this is a question I've always wondered. They always have a practice green at every course country club you go to.
Sure, sure.
Is your job as the director of astronomics to to make that putting surface identical to the greens out there, or are most people kind of lazy and they just make it a putting green, or is your goal to mimic so when you're out there practicing, it's exactly like hole 2 and 3 and 4? Is that kind of the
Yeah,
ideal?
yeah. You have 18 greens on your golf course. You're typically the practice green is the 19th green. So it's typically
So
you want it
it's
to be
maintained.
you maintain it exactly like you would the other greens on the golf course.
Okay, that's a good question because I'm always like nervous when I go out to a course I haven't played and I do the putting green. I'm like, I wonder how fast this green's going to be,
Yeah,
but it should be pretty similar to the one.
should be. Yeah,
Okay.
most respectable places you'll play at, I would imagine they do the same thing. Yeah.
Hole placement, is that usually your choice? Are you picking those hole placements? So like when it's a day where the holes are all in tough spots over a little hill, should I be calling you a sack of shit or back to the pro shop? Should I call him?
No, that's our department who's choosing them.
Okay.
Who's changing the cups? Whatever guy is changing the cups that day. It's typically my job to make sure to go behind the cup cutter and make sure that and just inspect before golfers get there and make sure there's, like you said, none that are too difficult where people are going to complain because we don't want complaints. So
Wow.
so yeah, it's typically my job to make sure they're all okay and double check his work. But yeah, it's usually dealer's choice. So whoever's cutting the cup, it's their choice.
That sounds nice. If you ever need a guy for that,
I'll let you know.
I'll pick the holes. And it looks like an art form on how they tamp and they fix the old holes. So when they pick that cup up to put it in the old one, then they throw some sand, they pat it down, they spray water over it, make it look like it was never even there.
It is, yeah, yeah. The ideal circumstances, you would put it back in and nobody would even know it was there. So,
Magic
so
of bent
if
grass.
you're good at it, you can do it. Yeah.
Oh, I bet I'd be the best at it. There's Nick, the hole guy. Um, What's the best job on the crew? I play a decent amount of golf. I walk around a lot. I feel like the leaf blower guy has it made in the shade. Half the time he doesn't even know what he's leaf blowing, but he's staying busy.
He's going with the blower. Yeah, I mean, I guess it would just all depend on personal preference. But I like changing cups.
Okay.
A lot of guys like mowing fairways. Nobody likes doing bunkers. So that's usually the worst job.
Okay. That's the intern kind of guy?
Yeah, bunkers is usually like the high school kid or the intern or the college kid who's only there for 3 months and is in the bunker every day until he goes back to school. But yeah, bunkers are usually the worst. But other than that, some guys like mowing green. Some guys like mowing fairways. There's leaf blowing's pretty good.
And yours is changing holes?
I like changing cups, yeah. Yeah.
Me too. Never done it. I just feel like it's my calling. Now, I feel like if you're in the crew, you have to be ripping cigs every day or dipping. Is that part of your crew, rules? Is that in the rule book?
It should be. But I don't think it is. Probably 20 years ago, it was probably you'd see the majority of people doing one or the other. But I think it's slowed down a little bit.
Like
more vapes and zins now.
Oh, zins, I'm okay. I mean, I don't do any of them, but vapes just sounds like you're just getting soft. I mean, I just imagine looking over at you cutting a cup. You just got a monster dip in, and then we got your boy Jose over there cutting the rough. He's just ripping a heater.
You gotta have something when you're starting at 5 o'clock. You gotta get something that'll keep you going.
Yeah, if I can't imagine it's got to be the guy in the traps or the ones vaping those interns.
Probably, yeah.
But once he gets on your crew, a couple of years in, it goes straight to cigarettes or dip.
That would be ideal.
I like it. Shout out. We still Kodiak? Is that still what you're doing?
No, I'm off. 3 years. Quit
Really?
3 years ago. Yeah.
Cold turkey? Or you doing anything else?
No, I quit cold turkey pretty much. Yeah.
Still doing meth or no?
Yeah, still a little bit of meth here and there, but
man, cold turkey. That's impressive. You used to go hard.
I know, I did. It was a tough one.
Oh, I bet.
Still miss it every morning at 5 o'clock, but
my Uncle Rob always talks about he smoked for like 25 years, and he's like, not a day goes by I don't miss it. He said he'll pull up to a stoplight, and he'll look over, and there'll be some guy in a car, and he'll be ripping a cigarette, and he just stares at him in jealousy.
Yeah, nicotine's a crazy addiction.
Oh, man. I can believe it. I have a Diet Coke addiction.
Yeah, I have that too, but luckily that's not going to kill you, I hope. Some may say.
So you're essentially a scratch golfer, and I know you're probably going to be all nice about it and say, "Oh, I'm actually a 4." You're unbelievable. Okay,
I don't know about that.
You take money every time we play golf. The last time we played golf, I was against you. You birdied 4 holes in a row. I'd never even seen that before. And me and Ross lost like $1 million to you guys.
Yeah, Plow and I had a pretty good run that round.
Plow was awful too. I think you won every single point.
He had a couple towards the end though. We were playing good off of each other.
Oh,
the holes that I messed up, he would come through, and yeah.
We were down like $100 on like hole 7, and then on hole like 13 or something, we were down like $400, and we weren't even playing that high of stakes. And Ross leans over to me. He goes, "I don't fucking think I've ever seen somebody birdie 4 holes in a row. Why didn't we get more strokes?" And I go, I thought Phil was worse. But yeah, that was impressive.
That was a good round.
Yeah, my question for you is: are most director of what the hell did you call yourself? Director of
No, I'm superintendent.
Are most golf course superintendents like yourself, scratch golfers, pretty darn good, or is it usually that's kind of rare? They're mostly just into the course.
Yeah, I'd say there's a mix of decent golfers, and there's also a mix of guys that are so involved with their job that they don't. A lot of superintendents don't play golf because, especially at higher end places, because you just don't have time. I mean, these guys are at work 70, 80 hours a week. It's their life.
Yeah.
So for me, that wasn't what I had aspired to do, is work my whole life. So that's why I kind of got into the public sector, and it's been good so far. Give me some time to golf, and yeah.
It's been killer. My last golf question before we get into the Titanic. which is a bunch of questions. And it actually works because your name's Nick.
You got it.
And your look right now couldn't be more golf superintendent. You got the beanie, not even covering your ears. You got the husky hoodies on.
There we go.
You just look like you manage a nice course. What is your schedule? Are you kind of like a teacher where winter is your summer? You're just off all the time, or are you doing a lot of crap in the winter as a golf superintendent?
Yeah, we're still doing quite a bit. It's way more relaxed though. It's not go like it is during the golf season. But winter's usually time for all the tree work. We'll typically find trees that need to come down or dead trees that need to come down and do a lot of tree work in the winter when there's nobody out there. And then when it snows, do a lot of inside stuff. The mechanic is typically going through all the equipment, servicing everything, sharpening everything. And then myself, I'm prepping for the upcoming season for chemicals and stuff like that.
You doing chemicals and stuff that year round, or is that usually like, hey, in that quick spring, all the pesticides, herbicides? Is that?
No, you're spraying all year round. You're treating to make sure the course stays disease free. But all the planning kind of comes in the fall, winter is when you do all your ordering for the following season and get all your inventory.
You got a nice budget over there? They give you a good budget for that stuff?
Yeah, pretty decent. Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't know what a good budget is.
Yeah,
but
we're at about 90,000 for chemicals.
Wow, you guys spend about 90 grand on chemicals per year.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about, but also makes perfect sense when you have a 200-acre golf course.
Yeah, Medinah was close when I was there 6 years ago. It was close to 500 for 3 golf courses.
500 grand 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you know why it costs about 200 grand to be a member.
Exactly.
Like, hey, Steve, you're paying for this herbicides today. All right, so we got Titanic. I asked you some questions. Don't think too much. Couple seconds. Shoot off an answer. Right. You ready to roll?
Ready.
Beautiful. All right, Yackle. Now, I know you're a deadhead, but if you could do one concert in the next 5 years, who are you going to?
Fish.
Okay, yeah. I won't make you show your tattoo to the crowd. But for those of you wondering at home, he has a Grateful Dead tattoo. All right, who's your ultimate foursome? You can go play golf with any 3 other people alive. Who's in that foursome?
I'd pick my dad.
Okay, his dad's a golf pro. So for those of you who don't know, he's not.
My dad's a golf pro, and I played a ton of golf with my dad my whole life. So I picked my dad. Probably my brother too, although he doesn't play much golf. But
this is a foursome that you can get now on like a Thursday. I'm talking about the ultimate anytime you want foursome. So sorry, Norm. Norm's out, even though I love that man.
You're kicking him out.
you can't do a foursome that you played in a week ago as your ultimate foursome.
All right, how about my dad? We'll go Michael Jordan. Yeah, he's favorite. I'm a Bulls fan.
Oh, I love MJ.
Dad, MJ, and how about Jack Nicklaus, my namesake?
Yeah, so for those, again, nobody knows. Nick Yackle's real name is Nicholas, as is mine. I spell it like you would normally spell Nicholas. He spells it like Jack Nicklaus, the golfer, Nicklaus. And have you come across anybody else that's ever spelled it like that as a first name?
I don't think so.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Only one.
Yeah, he only got a couple years left, old Jack.
Yeah.
Might have to play from the Reds. Okay, best movie of all time.
Apocalypse Now.
Oh, I've never even seen it.
Oh, you got to get on that.
Tell you what I'm doing tomorrow. Would you rather pee in the shower or pee in the pool?
Shower.
I pee every time I get in the shower.
All day. Yeah, me too.
Pools are nice too. Better free appetizer, the all-you-can-eat rolls at Texas Roadhouse, or a really good Mexican restaurant's chips and salsa?
I'll go chips and salsa.
Okay, I go the other way. I'm a Roadhouse rolls guy, but I do love chips and salsa. Now, this is a cure. We talked about showering, peeing in the shower. This has nothing to do with that. When you get in the shower, what do you wash first?
My body?
Well, it's a goofy question, but here's why I ask it: is I saw something on like TikTok, and I was like, I mean, I just assumed like my face or my head, but then I went in there and I realized I do my forearms first,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I
which
do. I
makes
do
no
too.
sense.
Yeah, I do my arms first too. I guess my
But you,
right. I do my left arm first because I'm
yes,
washing with my right hand. Yeah.
and then I immediately go with the other forearm. But in my head, I'm like, who gives a shit about my forearms? It's like, why not go straight to your face?
hair is always last for me.
Yeah, I don't have that issue,
Yeah.
but you still have a nice head of hair up there?
I just got a haircut, but it's pretty decent.
Yeah, that is nice. Oh, I miss it. Mine, not yours. So if you're waking up at, or I guess it's a two-part question. If you got to be at the course at 4:30 a.m., what time you going to bed and what time you waking up?
I'm going to bed as soon as my kids will go to sleep.
Okay, so 8 p.m.
I wish. My oldest daughter probably doesn't go to sleep till 8:45, 9 o'clock. So that's usually once she falls asleep, I'm right behind her.
Okay. What time you waking up?
We usually wake it up at like 4 o'clock, a little earlier
Are
sometimes.
you totally accustomed to it, or do you still look at your clock and want to throw it out the window?
Nah, it's. I mean, I still get wake up by an alarm, but once you get up, I'm used to it.
You pounding coffees?
Yeah, I drink coffee.
You just go straight black?
No, I put a little milk in my coffee.
That's my next question. Is how do you take your coffee? I want to drink black coffee so bad, but it tastes so bad.
Yeah, it's not. I can stomach it, but if I'm making it at home, make the coffee, put a little milk in there, and I'm on my way.
I like it. A little creamer. Favorite McDonald's breakfast menu item?
Bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Solid, solid, solid. If you could be the superintendent of any course for 1 year, what course would you want to do that for?
Whew. That's a tough one.
Thank you.
Just one. There's a lot of. I mean, Augusta National would be pretty cool. Pretty cool to see that whole spectacle.
What would be your top three, and then we'll say Augusta's one. What other courses are you kind of thinking about?
There's just so many. I mean, there's Whistling Straits up in Kohler would be pretty cool. Yeah, there's so many. Even on the North Shore of Chicago, there's so many good golf courses.
Yeah. If you take out Medinah, what do you think is the best course in Illinois? Not saying Medinah is. I've heard that Chicago Golf Club in Wheaton.
Yeah, I've been out there. I've never played it. That's a really good spot. But there's, I mean, Shore Acres in, I don't know if it's considered Lake Bluff or Lake Forest, but up that way.
Yep.
Is an awesome place. Old Elm in Lake Forest. It's either Lake Forest or Highland Park.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's like a super exclusive. It's a really nice one. Butler Nationals.
It's
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just so many, and we're blessed to live in a pretty good golf area.
Oh, we got an incredible area, and I realize that when a lot of people come here that are like, it's cheap. You can play golf for $40-$50 at a really nice course. Where if you're in other states, it could be $125 at a real, hog track. What about, you ever played Black Sheep?
I haven't. No.
That course is. I haven't played it either. I don't think they let me on the grounds, but I saw it from a Google image and it looked pretty nice.
Yeah, that's a cool place. I played Rich Harvest Farms once a long time ago, but that's another one that's a really weird place that super rich guy decided he wanted to build a golf course and did it.
That's awesome. That's what we need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to make a lot more money. Do you read books? And that's a random question. I don't read, so I was curious if you do.
Yeah, I do. I try to read a little bit before bed, before I fall asleep.
Oh, interesting. What's your last book you read?
The Strange and Life of Robert Peace. It's a book I bought at a Goodwill. It was a pretty good book.
No, it sounds like it. You said I'm in the middle of a few. Are you? Will you like read a chapter of different books?
Yeah, I buy books because I'll see them somewhere. I'll see somebody on Twitter post about a book, or somebody on Instagram post about a book. I'm like, oh, that looks good. And then I buy it, and then I get it, and I stack it up. So on my nightstand, I got like 20 books stacked up.
Really?
And then I'll start reading a few, and if it's not piquing my interest, I'll like put it down. And so I'm probably 20 or 30 pages into 3 or 4 books right now.
It's funny because this is the first time I've ever asked any of this question because I thought I'd just be curious if I don't read, and I always kind of wish I did. But the first person I ask winds up having 20 books on their nightstand.
but doesn't read them.
Yeah, right. Gets a chapter in each one. Okay, 3 more questions.
Yeah.
Best gas station snack.
Ooh, probably tropical Skittles.
Oh, those are nice.
The blue bag.
Mm.
Or Sour Patch Kids. I'm a candy guy.
Oh, are you? I love Sour Patch Kids. It doesn't get any better than those, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't like the Sour Patch watermelons or I don't like those as much.
Yeah, those are okay. I prefer the originals.
Agreed. Chicago style pizza. You want the cut in squares? You want the crust, or are you going for the centerpiece?
I go center.
A little more meat on the bone.
Extra cheesy, yeah.
Now you're talking. When you wipe, when you go number 2, are you a stand guy? Like you get a little athletic stance, or are you a lean guy?
I've actually over the last or since like Christmas, I've transitioned to a bidet guy.
Oh, I've heard nothing but good things about bidets.
I would highly recommend it.
Dude, my buddy in high school had one. We always used to joke about him, and he's like, "You've never lived until you've had a bidet."
Yeah, I got one of those like
It's like the arm that swings out. You can do it.
Yeah, yeah, I got one of those for Christmas, and yeah, it's been a game changer.
Where's the water come from? How's it? Is it like attached to something?
No, you hook it up to your water line for your toilet.
Okay. Did you do that? Or did you have to hire somebody?
No, I did it. Super easy install.
Dang. And you can't go back?
I don't think I could go back.
Oh.
It's tough if I'm not at home.
I guess. I'm going to have to come over and check it out. Like, why is Nick here? Big he's using our bidet. Man, hey, Yackle, we're 40 minutes in. I can't thank you enough. This is awesome. Got a bunch of questions answered, and we'll have to have you back on as the golf season continues.
Let's do it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we got to play golf at Blackstone because you can get us on there for free or whatever.
You got it.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, man. Talk to you.
Sorry you missed it. Yesterday, I had Iowa all the way. Today, we're going to make some thunder with Indiana State, Utah, 162 and a half under. Good luck.